What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? And today we're going to be talking about Days Gone. And this is going to be a little bit of an extensive outlook on this game. And the reason being, this game got a lot of mixed bag reviews back in the day when this game initially released on the PlayStation 4. And there's a reason why I decided to make a video on this for this year, is because I really think that when it came to Days Gone, in my personal opinion, it's a really good game. I really like the concept of this game really much in general because of not just because of an open world game as it is. It has a really interesting, unique story. I was really invested into this game from beginning to end, and what I will say is that the ending of this game was something that I was never really quite expecting. But we're not going to talk about that here in the beginning of this video because I want to talk more about why I think that this game was, in fact, one of my favorite open world zombie games from that, like the Dying Lights, like 1 and 2. But I think when it comes to Days Gone, Sam Witwer did a fantastic job doing the voiceover of Deacon St. John, and, used to be a renowned biker in a biker gang. And so I think that's where this game really, it's very interesting because, normally I don't always like playing these types of games because there's usually a lot of involvement around, much like the Dead Islands or the Dying Lights or any kind of open world games for that matter in that type of genre. So I think when it comes to Days Gone, this game is it's really cool. I actually, like I said, I enjoyed this game from beginning to end. And I think this game really utilized a unique crafting system because I feel like when it comes to open world games like Days Gone, this game, I believe, does a really good job with its crafting mechanics. And that's one thing that most open world games don't do very well when it comes to its crafting systems. I would say Dying Light 1 and 2 did a pretty good, unique job. The Dead Island games did a pretty interesting, unique job as well. But I think when it comes to third person open world games, much like Days Gone, obviously, it does something that normal a lot of games really don't utilize very well. And what I mean by that is that specifically you use your bike as a means of travel. And this game, you have to have gasoline in order to travel, obviously, because it's a natural resource. But when you open up certain types of cars or trucks or whatnot, you can have silencers and put them on your weapons. You have scrap where you can fix your bike. That's really cool though too. And I really love the implementation of being able to do certain types of mechanical upgrades to your bike as well. Making it quieter with certain type of aspects of mufflers, that sort of thing. And I think that's where Dying Light did something in that regard. In my personal opinion, that's what I really love about these types of games in general too, is that I really love the mechanics of a game that knows how to implement it very, very well. And so I want to talk a little bit about the gameplay here though too, because I think the gameplay aesthetic and the combat systems of this game really does a good job. I think, obviously weapons do have recoil because, usually when they make games like this, you want to have a little bit of recoil with your weapons because they want to make it a little bit somewhat uniquely realistic. But that's another thing what I really love the fact of the mechanic of, utilizing the combat systems and, being able to craft like certain types of things like Molotovs or grenades or stamina cocktails and health cocktails and all that kind of stuff to maintain Deacon at being the most efficient in combat. And I think that's where the combat focus really involves with this game. And I think it does it very, very well. I kind of found that a little off putting or maybe off kilter a little bit in the Dying Light series. But, those were the mechanic systems when it come to crafting. It was more detailed. I think when it came to Days Gone, the detail of being able to craft your stuff, like, create, attaching suppressors on your weapons I previously mentioned. And it's the way how this game really does a good job of focusing on a crafting system that's not deeply robust or profound, but it's easy to understand. It really is. And that's where I would say when you craft your stuff specifically, it's more in the lines of, like I previously mentioned about, like the stamina regeneration or creating your Molotovs or grenades or whatnot. There is a radial system when, being able to select your weapons and being able to select your, or any kind of other craftable things that you can be able to make and equip those, and being able to go against the freakers in this game. Those are basically the zombies in this game. And I think that's one of the things that really, I felt like that when it came to Days Gone, this game it did it so well. And I really love the fact of where this game is going from beginning to middle to end. And you do have different types of camps in this game as well. But in order to progress the story, you have to do certain types of side quests and then progress the story a little bit after that. And so there is a little bit of a progression system in this game. That's one thing I thoroughly really loved about Days Gone as well, is in fact that you could be able to clear these camps out, being able to go into bunkers and find different types of blueprints, and being able to, you know, craft a lot of different type of unique things. And that's one of the things that I really greatly appreciated when it came to Days Gone. And so one weapon in particular I do thoroughly enjoy, which I don't use all the time, is the crossbow. It's the most silent weapon that you could use if you want to go pure stealth. But overall, this game does not have a penalty of, going just, a la fighting and, like, with your weapons or whatnot. Or if you can go silent, you can do that though too. I love the options that this game really provides. And that's where I think Days Gone really does everything pretty well, in my personal opinion. And so I want to say something here real quick. I don't do very well when it comes to talking about story in games, because I think that when it comes to story in games, they are some games are pretty easy to not understand, but they're pretty easy to digest, and to being able to know what you want to talk about when it comes to story driven games like Days Gone. And I think what I will say is that if you do certain types of actions, you are able to get the secret ending in this game. And I actually ended up platting this game, and it was really, but the secret ending was so good, and it was the reason why I think that this was the most underappreciated or gem of a game, as it was and is in today's modern gaming, whether if you played it on PS4 or playing the game backwards compatible on PS5. But I think that Ben Studios did a fantastic job on this game. They did a fantastic job with its character progression, in my personal opinion. And they did so many things that, as I previously mentioned, that I was not really quite used to when it comes to these types of games in general. When it came to the Dying Light series or the Dead Island, and but those games are so far more different from each other than that they are part of that same type of genre. And that's where I felt when Days Gone is involved or is concerned. And that's one greatly thing that I really appreciated when it came to this game too, is that I love its melee system. The melee system is pretty unique. It does feel different from most other third person, open world games, much like, I wouldn't say Far Cry, I would say like Assassin's Creed or that sort of thing. But I think when it comes to its combat focus and its combat systems, as I previously mentioned, they did a really good job with that. I love the fluidity of the combat. It really makes the tonality of Deacon St. John as a character, and how he really vocalizes himself from certain types of aspects or concepts when it comes to clearing out these camps, when it comes to certain things in the world of this post-apocalyptic Oregon. And it's so cool. And I think that's one of the greatest things why I think this game is absolutely fairly unique and pretty fucking cool, in my personal opinion, of course. But either or, do I highly recommend playing this game? I do. I really think that this game is really going to provide a lot of certain type of ideas, or where we can have games like this in general in not too distant future, making games like that are similar to this type of game. And I think that's where I really want to see. I would love to see another Days Gone, but to my understanding is that they won't be making another one because this game, for what I understand, did not do very well in terms of its sales or its marketing or PR, whatever it may be. But either or, I still think that this game is utterly fantastic. I really think that it was the story that really gripped me. And it was one of the things that I'm like, wow, this game is absolutely amazing. To me personally, and in my own preference or opinion, I think the people that reviewed this game, like from different types of outlets, whether if it was Game Informer or Kotaku or Polygon or IGN or GameSpot, they were all wrong. I mean, I understand that when it comes to reviewing games, sometimes you can prove some of these, professional reviewers wrong, but I think it all has to do with pointing out what what other gamers' opinions are, other than like the professionals out there. And I get it, but that's usually how it goes for me, in my personal opinion, of course. But either or, I really think that Days Gone did a fantastic job in everything of what I wanted, expected it to be, and it exceeded those expectations. And one thing I will say is that this game did struggle a little bit on the original PlayStation 4 when this game first initially came out. But however, I think after so many numerous of updates for this game performs fairly well and even phenomenally on the PlayStation 5 via the backwards compatibility. So I will say is that do I highly recommend playing this game in 2024 if you're on PS4 or on the backwards compatible on PS5? Yes, I do. I love this game. I recently got back into it, and it just goes to show you that, this game really does provide a unique sense of story and vice versa. So, all in all, I rank this game to I would say a 9.5 out of 10, maybe if that. But other than that, thank you for tuning in, guys. Greatly appreciated. Any comments or questions, please feel free to put any comments or questions in the comment section below. Be more than happy to reply back if and whenever possible. But as I previously mentioned, guys, it's been such an amazing ride. I'm hoping to do more content in the near future, as I've previously been doing for the past year and a half now. But to much further ado, see you later, guys. Peace.